Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to create two controllers. One is going to be the health controller and the other is going to be the refresh token controller. They are both going to be very simple controllers. The health controller will be similar to what we already added in the API gateway and the notification service, while the refresh token is just going to be a controller with a function. We check or get the user by a username, and then if it exists, we sign the token and then return the data to the API gateway. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create a new controller. Let's create the refresh token. So refresh dash token.ts. Okay, like I said, this is going to be a very simple controller. So export async function, and I'll call this token. Okay, request from right here, and then response. Okay, then void right here. Okay, so what I want to do here simply is to get the user by username. We're going to pass it in the request params. Okay, so const existing user of type I auth document equal to await get user by username, and then we are going to get the data from the params. Okay, so request.params.username. Okay, here on your own you can decide if you want to do a check. Okay, it's fine if you want to do a check if this returns any object. If it does not, okay, for me I will just simply sign the token. Okay, so const user JWT of type string equal to sign token, and here we pass the user.id. I think the next is the email and the username dot email, or let's just confirm, check what we, okay, ID, email and username, and then username. Okay, so this will sign the token. Now let us go ahead and create rest.status. It's going to be 200, so status code dot OK. Okay, HTTP status code OK returns 200 dot JSON, and then here we'll pass message. I'll just say refresh token, and then I'll send the user, so existing user, and then token user JWT. Okay, so this is just all we need here in this refresh token. So its task is to get the user that we are going to pass in the params, get the object, sign the token, and then send it back to the API gateway. Okay, now for this we can create the routes. Now I'm going to create a separate route file and not adding it to the auth or the current user. The reason is because if we go to routes.ts, the auth route and the current user route, they require this verify gateway request. Okay, so for this other refresh token, probably we don't really need it to be verified. Okay, or maybe we do. I think it makes more sense to verify it, so I'm not going to create a separate route file. I'll add it to this current routes. Okay, so let me go to routes, then current user, and then here I think it makes sense. Okay, so it makes much sense to add it right here. It's going to be a get route, and I'll call this refresh dash token, then slash, then we add the username, and it's called token. Okay, I was thinking maybe if it was going to make much sense if we create a separate route for it, and then I figured, okay, since it's going to be coming from the API gateway, then it makes much sense to verify that it's coming from the API gateway. Okay, so that is why I added it to the current user route. Now let's create the other controller, okay, which is the health route. It's very simple. We do what we already done. Let's see. Controllers health, yeah, something like this. I can copy this, okay, and then go to the controllers for auth, and then yeah, I think it's exactly the same. Here I will just change this to auth service. Auth service is healthy and okay. Okay, so now for this we don't need this to actually be verified, okay, because it's not likely going to be coming from the API gateway. So we create a new route. I'll call this health.ts, and then let me create a router. So copy what I have here. Now let me make the necessary changes. I don't need this, so I'll call this health routes. Okay, and for the health, this is going to be auth dash health, and then the method name is called health. Okay, and then I have to import this. Is it exported here? Oh, okay, I have to get it. Sorry about this. We don't need this to be a class. Oh, I made a mistake. So I can just export function health. Okay, I can paste here. Okay, so I didn't need it to be a class. Now we can easily import. Okay, and then let's go to our routes here. Now for the auth route, we don't need to verify requests, so I'll create a new app.use. And then remember also we said it's not going to have the base parts. Okay, so for the health route, it's going to be something like this: http://4002/auth-health. Okay, so it's not going to have this base part attached to it. Okay, and to achieve that, we add here empty strings as the base part, and then health routes, we import health routes dot as a function. Okay, here let me change this. Okay, so now we have our health route, and also we have the refresh token route. Now let's quickly add it to our API gateway. Okay. Oh, if I said health routes in the API gateway, sorry about that. I meant the refresh token. Okay, the health route will not come from the API gateway, will not pass through the API gateway, only the refresh token. Okay, so go to controllers in your API gateway auth. The API gateway has its own health route. Okay, so now in the auth folder or inside the controllers, I'll create refresh dash token.ts. Okay, and here maybe we can get something. Copy this, paste. I'll call this refresh, and then here is going to be auth service dot get refresh token, and then we pass request dot params dot username. Okay, now if we go to this get refresh token function, we can see here that we are passing in the username as a param. Okay, and then here remember that we are returning the a message, user, and token. Now the token that is returned, that is what we are adding to the session. Okay, so we add the token, now the new token, to the session. So request.session equal the object JWT and then response.data.token. Okay, I'll call this token instead of read. Okay, so this is the controller, and let's go to our current user route. And here in the current user route, I can add it. I think it's called refresh dash token / username, and then it's going to be called refresh and then dot token. Okay, so here I decided to still use the current user route instead of creating a separate route for the refresh token. Okay, so here let's be very sure that I have the correct route name. It's a get route and it's refresh dash token / username. Okay, and that is what I have here. Okay, so now at this point in time we have the controllers, at least right now, that we need in our auth service and also in the API gateway. What we have left are just two features, which are this seeding feature, so the method to be able to seed users, and then the search feature. Now those two features, I think we are likely going to add them in the next section, not this section. Okay, so what we want to do now is just to add a unit test, okay, and then we push our code to GitHub.